Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create a free website using WAMP, which is an acronym for Windows Apache MySQL and PHP. So, first thing you're going to want to do is to go to the WAMP site to get your software. I'll post these links in the description so you don't have to go through Google to get them. We're going to be installing WAMP server 32 bits and PHP 5.3. This includes MySQL and PHP 5.3.13, PHPMyAdmin, and SQL Buddy. The Apache version is going to be 2.2.22. The neat thing about the WAMP is that it includes everything, so you don't have to download Apache and then download PHP on a later date, which can be quite hectic trying to install it. So you can usually ignore this stuff. This is just some error code. I don't know why it's there. So you can download it directly and it'll get started. Here we are, and it automatically pulls up. As you can see, the download is finished, and it should walk us through the installation guide. This is the following that it's going to install, which getting your website up and running for the first time, you will not likely have to mess with any of this stuff, but as your website progresses and it gets more advanced, this will definitely come in handy. Accept. And it will extract the files and place them in your WAMP directory. I'll pause the video, this will take some time. Okay, so it just finished extracting, so now it's going to pull up Explorer for the default browser used. This doesn't necessarily matter, so Explorer automatically comes up as default, so go ahead and just click open. And then we'll do some last little bits, create some shortcuts, install it. Just go ahead and click next, and launch WAMP Server 2 now. So this little icon will show you, will pull up a monitor, and you can see stop all services, start all services, stop all services, and restart all services. And then put online. Green, the server is online. Okay, so now you have WAMP installed and your server is up and running. Now, no one besides the people on your network can access it. So to see your website on your network, which means whatever computer is connected to your Wi-Fi, you will need to type in your IPv4 address. To find your IPv4 address, you'll hold down the Windows key and press R, and then this run will come up. Type CMD and press enter. Now type in ipconfig, no spaces, and click enter. You may have to scroll around a bit to figure out your IPv4 address. So 192.168.11.4. This will vary quite often from computer to computer. So for every person connected to your Wi-Fi or your internet, including you, will need to enter in this address, your IPv4, to get to it. Everyone else will click or type the URL you choose. So we'll type in our IPv4 and forbidden. We do not have permission to access this server. So this is pretty much like, I guess you can call this a test page to show you that your server is even on. even though it says forbidden. Sorry, I had to pause the video to troubleshoot. It should not be saying forbidden. So, you can, I apologize, you can forget about the IPv4. Instead of your IPv4 address, type in local. And then there's your configuration and your information. And yep, this is what it's supposed to show. I apologize. I have this on my server, and you type your IPv4 to get to your website on the server. So I immediately assumed it'd be the same thing. So again, I apologize. So so now we need to port forward. Port forwarding allows your router to send information to your clients through a specific port, and the other way around as well. Without port forwarding, your information would not be able to make its way back and forth. It's like creating an exception in the firewall to allow the information to go to your client and to access your server. So you'll want to go to portforward.com. Okay, I guess it's not portforward.com. This is new. I don't remember. Right, this is the tester. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. Going through your router and entering the username and the password can be really hectic, especially if you don't quite know what you're doing. So this neat little program called Simple Port Forwarding will completely do it for you. Almost automatically. Now I'm just going to download it. Download. This link will also be in the description. Why are we not downloading? Oh wow. Okay. What is this doing? Okay, sorry. That was boring. No sleep last night. So you click download at Major Gigs. Depending on your location, it might pull up a different mirror, in which case you get to figure out which button actually downloads what you want. Everything else is apparently ads. So this is almost downloading. Alright. Yes. Next. Next. This should be relatively quick. Finish. Alright. So now we have downloaded our Simple Port Forwarding software. You will want to port forward on 80. That's the default web port. Pretty much everything revolves around. Usually by default your internet service provider will have it blocked, so okay, it's updating its database. Okay, so Alright, you'll want to type in the IP address of your router, and usually it should be 192.168.0.1, and if it's not, you can, or to make sure that's what it is, you can type in 192.168.0.1, and it'll be pulled up. It'll pull up this. So you'll want to type in our username and our password, and usually it's on the back of your router on a sticker or something. Okay, so we have our username and our password entered. You'll want to right click in this white area and click add new. So it really isn't a common port to have unblocked. So we'll click add custom and we'll just label it server. The name doesn't typically matter. Type, you'll leave it TCP, start port 80, end port 80. Oops. And add. Oh, this is the IP address that you have your server running. So, which is where are you? There we go. IPv4 address 11.4, 11.4. It should typically have it automatically. So I'm going to click add. And then this won't automatically add it to your router. You have to click update router, and the scripts will begin to run and automatically port forward for you. Yes. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure why it won't enter your password, so we'll have to re-enter ourselves. Oops. I guess I didn't enter the correct password. Okay, so the script timed out. It didn't go through. So we'll just, sometimes this will happen a few times, but you just exit out and then click update router again. Typically, if you entered your password in the first time, if you entered your password in the first time doing what I just did, it should automatically. Alright. It really helps to have the correct router selected. So, your router model should be somewhere located on your router. Okay, let's try this one more time. There we go. As you can see, it's doing it completely for us. So, boom, right there. But since I already import forwarded, it's not going to do it again. So we can hit close and then click port tester to make sure it actively went through. I guess I can't move that. Type in report and then click begin. Failed. Port in use. That's just because that means it's actually open. It's just that your server's using it. So now you can access your computer, or you can access your server without having, or other people can access your server without having to be connected to your network. To do that, you'll type in my IP and Google should automatically come up. Now, if you type this IP address into your browser, it won't work. So what I like to do is just use my phone and then type in that IP address into your browser and click go, and it should say something about it should show this. So now you're almost done. You can leave it as it is connection wise, but your clients won't typically like having to enter your IP address, the numbers, instead of a URL. To get a domain name, you can actually get domain names free from this little service in Amsterdam. So it'll be my.tk. I'll also have this in the link in the description. So I already have an account. And then say, where would you register? Log in using your social account. Done. I already have a domain name registered with them, so it'll be here. So domain panel. This is my website. You will click add a domain, and then you'll choose the URL. I'll just make something up super quick and leave it later. Free domain. Okay. Here you'll type in your URL again, which will be, most people, for me it was this, so it'll be whatever you entered in typically here. So .tk. And then you can register an infinite amount of times, which is really nice. It's completely free, and as far as I know, this is the only way you can really get a 100% free domain. Not correct. I have no idea why this is giving me so much trouble. I really don't understand why it's doing this to me. Okay, so I figured it out. This is actually your IP address that they're asking for. I don't know why. They could have said IP address instead of URL, but oh well. Okay, now visit the domain panel and click modify. So, and put pretty much, I'll just put FWP, and then your IP address. Right. And then you'll just put your address here and click Save Changes, and it'll take a while for it to come up, but it shouldn't take too long. So I'll go ahead and delete this. Okay. So now your users can type in whatever your domain name is into their address bar without having to type in your IP address. Your IP address will change typically, especially if it's dynamic and we're using a home internet service like CenturyLink or Comcast, and we're not using enterprise. So every now and then you'll have to come in and click modify and change the IP address. And it shouldn't change too frequently. So that's the basis of setting up your server in your website. So if we go back to our localhost, we wouldn't typically want your clients to see this. So to add content to your website, go to computer, C, WAMP, and then www. So the server revolves around HTML and typically HTML and PHP. So I'll just create some quick code real quick. Go to Save As and find your directory to where people will access your service. C, WAMP, www, all files, index.html. Save. Now, you can pretty much delete these two. These are test files that you don't necessarily need. Supposed to be green. Why is it not green? Duh. There we go. In future tutorials, I'll have some in-depth HTML coding tutorials to allow you to add better content to your website. So there you go. That's how you create a free website from scratch. Not really from scratch, but that's how you create a free website. One more thing. To test your website to see if other people can access it, it's really common to use your phone and disconnect it from the Wi-Fi and use the mobile networks and type in your web address into the browser. If it works, this should come up. But like I said, sometimes it'll take up to a few hours for this to, for them to set up the DNS server for your server. So, there you go. That is how you create a 100% free website.